And did you know the word dinosaur was not even invented until 1841? So the word is a relatively new English word. So if man and dinosaurs did coexist before 1841, it would not have been called dinosaurs because the word wasn't there. So we're going to start out with the most speculation, mythology. All right? One of the fascinating creatures in mythology is the dragon. Some dragon legends are sensational. Some have extraordinary godlike powers associated to them. And the Chinese very much hyped all kinds of powers onto this dragon. But not all dragon legends are like that, and that's the critical thing here. In fact, if you scrape away all the sensationalism and just deal with the creature at the base of the legends, a very common sounding creature is described. In fact, Carol Rose, an expert in mythology, defined what is the general physical description of a creature called a dragon in ancient mythology. And she wrote this: the most general description of the Occidental dragon is very similar to that of the Oriental dragon, Occidental being European. Being an enormous, elongated, scale-covered body like that of a crocodile, often with vast wings like those of a bat, having huge legs like those of a lizard with long claws. It may have a toothed dorsal ridge extending to a long serpentine tail, usually barbed. Its head may be like that of a vast lizard or crocodile, but either a crest or horns on the head. Now, if you know your dinosaurs, that's a nearly perfect composite image of a whole bunch of dinosaurs put together with a pterosaur thrown into the mix. Pterosaur being the bat-like wings. Look at this picture. At the Creation Museum in Kentucky, I took this. They have this pterosaur there, and I took a picture of it because what you see here is a description of dragons have bat-like wings. I want you to look at what the pterosaur is. I think you can see. You have membrane wings. You have joint structures. You have claws out of the top. Even the posture and the stance of the wings and the way they're connected. And then look at the bat. The bat is nearly identical in its construction. So the question is, and when you're thinking about mythology, it's like, wait a minute. Mythology is supposed to be completely fabricated, completely made up. How is it possible that they described the wings of dragons to be bat-like, and when you look at a pterosaur, it's nearly a perfect fit? It's very fascinating to me. So let's keep going. Here's a recreation of a Spinosaurus. He carries many of the characteristics of dragons. You see dermal spines, claws, legs like a lizard, head like a crocodile. Check out the barbed tails on this particular stegosaur. The features of dragons actually match those of dinosaurs. That's just a fact. We can see it. And this is Dracorex, which is a horned dinosaur. It is a dinosaur actually named after a dragon. The irony knows no bounds here. You see, the draken is the Greek word for dragon. And this is a reconstruction of the Dracorex fossil done by National Geographic. And the paleontologists who named this fossil were stunned at how much it matched the imagery of dragons. And ironically, they named this dinosaur after a dragon in the Harry Potter movies. The scientific name of this creature is Dracorex hogwartsia. Okay? I mean, again, the irony knows no bounds on this. Now, Carol Rose went on to say something else about the dragon that's quite notable. Those dragons were a common feature of legends and folklore from ancient times in virtually every culture of the world. You see, here's the thing, guys. Dragons are a phenomenon worldwide. It doesn't matter what continent you go to, these giant reptiles are spoken of everywhere. So the question is, how did cultures in, say, South America and cultures in China 2,000 years ago tell similar stories of creatures if they were all completely fictitious and products of pure myth? The Chinese and the South Americans weren't emailing each other. All right? Did virtually every culture of the world create the same mythical creature in which to fear? And what were the odds that supposed mythical feature matches the dinosaur scale for scale? The legend is just the starting point. This isn't my argumentation yet. I'm just saying this is wild stuff. That this is all happening. Here's historical selectivity. Has anyone heard this term, historical selectivity? Okay. It's basically a term historians use, and it's very simple. It's you cannot record every last event. Okay? You have to be selective on what you write down. Now think. Historians or people telling legends are selective and what they're choosing to pass on. And now think that with one unified shout, the ancient cultures of all around the world thought it was important to pass down stories of big, giant reptiles. That's another interesting thing. How is it they all selected that and said, this is a big deal, we're passing these things down? And it needs to be said, it is not only creationists who have connected the very large dots between dragons or dinosaurs. Because it happened before I was born, I think. The famed atheist Carl Sagan tried to rationalize away the dragon stories because of the obvious connection to dinosaurs. So this isn't just something that I am making up here. There is agreement on both sides. He said this: the pervasiveness of dragon myths in the folk legends of many cultures is probably no accident. It is a worldwide phenomenon. Sagan recognized the stories of dragons are remarkably similar to dinosaurs. And so he tried to offer an explanation for it. He tried to explain it away with an evolutionary worldview. And his proposition was essentially this: that we inherited memories of dinosaurs that are 100 million years old from our non-human ancestors. That we essentially reincarnated dinosaur memories, and then man, when they erupted in us sometime, man thought they were real, recreated stories of them, and passed them down as dragon legend. No one can make this up here. He goes, this is what he said. He goes, the R complex is functioning in the dreams of humans. The dragons can be heard hissing and rasping, and the dinosaurs thunder still. Listen, it is not, he was completely comfortable using the term dragon and dinosaur interchangeably. Okay? This is not, evolutionists have this picture of creationists that are kind of, and they're just wacky and they believe weird stuff. Listen, atheists believe this. Evolutionists that are studied and researched understand what Sagan is saying here. And he's comfortable using the terms interchangeably.